Hat-Trick Hockey is brought to you in part by Eric Stendel, Remax Capital Diamond Realty, servicing Windsor, Lakeshore, Tecumseh, LaSalle, and Essex County. As a third-generation realtor with a decade-long track record of multi-million-dollar production, Eric Stendel brings a wealth of experience to the table. With specialties in residential resales, investment properties, and new construction sales, Eric Stendel tailors his approach to meet the unique needs of his clients, from first-time buyers to seasoned investors. Contact Eric Stendel, Remax Capital Diamond Realty today for all your real estate needs. Call or text 226-345-9199 or visit his website, ericstendel.com. That's ERICSTANDEL.com. If he's got 99 in his number, shouldn't that tell you something? Contact Eric Stendel today. What's going on, all you beauts and beauties? Welcome to the Hat-Trick Hockey Podcast, brought to you by GL Heritage, the official beer of HTH. I am your host, Brett Hedges, along for the ride with one of my favorite guys, the creator of the Hat-Trick Hockey Podcast, the king of crispy, Anthony Gaudette. And take a bow, my man.
Oh, buddy. It's I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted, but I'll let you keep going here with your intro and then we'll get into it.
All right. Well, before we get into the show, of course, you guys can make sure you follow us on all of our social media links
Mhm.
and subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Make sure you visit our merchandise link for all of your fans at home getting their HTH merchandise. And of course, support our sponsors because they support us. Make sure you use our brand new promo code with BioSteel. Biosteel.ca to get 20% off your order there. Make sure you use the promo code CRISPY, HTH, that's CRISPY HTH, to get 20% off your order at biosteel.ca. And you can still use the old promo code with Howie's Hockey Tape, HTH Podcast, to get 10% off your order there.
Mhm.
That's the new one, right, bud?
Yeah, so what happened with that? So I was contacted by BioSteel and apparently our coupon code was thrown up on a couple coupon sites or whatever, and that's a big no-no. They only like us promoting through the show,
Yeah.
and we did not put the code there. So someone just grabbed it and put it on the site. So they just kind of reached out to me and said, "Hey, do you guys mind switching up your code with us and everything just so we can get it all straightened out?" I said, "Not a problem." Gave them the code, and now here we are. Now we're crispy. So you got it.
Yeah. May as well.
Hmm.
We got it. Well, our promo code's been used so much that it ended up on the coupon sites. I guess that's a good thing. I don't know, but I just goes to show that people have been using it and it's been out there in the stratosphere. So that's
Hmm.
exciting. So make sure you use that new promo code Crispy HCH and make sure you get your Crispy merchandise as well from our merchandise link.
Hmm.
Um, Dude, there's a lot going on in the world of hockey. Of course, we're getting this out here before the Christmas time break so that you guys can enjoy the show while you guys are off or doing whatever you need to do during that time. And at the time of this recording, Anthony, our favorite NHL team, the Detroit Red Wings, are absolutely in fuego right now. In the last 2 calendar weeks, the Wings are 7-2
Hmm.
and just came off a couple back-to-back wins against the Washington Capitals this weekend. What are your thoughts on the Wings, and what do you like so far with the boys in red and white?
I'm actually like very impressed with how they've really handled themselves against some of the better teams in the league, like the Washington Capitals. Reason being, I'll be honest with you, I thought they were gonna, when they were in Washington, I thought they were gonna get walked, and that was not the
Yeah.
case. It was the exact opposite, and they brought it home today, and they just kept going to work, man, and they ended up getting an overtime winner from Mo Sider. Mo actually scored in Washington as well, so that's a two-game goal streak for Mo. It's nice to see him clicking in those offensive abilities that he can have once in a while. And Mo's got that big shot too. So when you get him in close and in the slot like that, a lot of the times you set him up. Finney, what a beautiful pass that he gave him today to set him up for the overtime winner. And what a shot to be able to win that game in overtime for the Red Wings. I thought for sure that Tom Wilson was going to be running around these two games because Detroit doesn't really have a lot of players that can kind of contain Tom Wilson when he gets going. But they were kind of smart about it. They let him sleep, and he was pretty much a non-factor over the past two games. So I'm pretty impressed with it. So what about you? What are you thinking?
I'm really impressed 'cause I remember 'cause 2 weeks ago I did that Bluebirds game
Mhm.
on December 6th, and as I was driving home back into Windsor, and sometimes when it's kind of late and if there's a late game on, I'll continue my drive. I'll take the long way home, so to speak. And that's when they were first starting their Western road trip, starting against Seattle, and they won that game 4-3. And then the next couple nights later, they beat Vancouver 4-0. John Gibson
Yeah.
with a shutout there. And then they beat Calgary a couple nights later, 4-3. They did lose to Edmonton the night before, the night after that, 4-1, but can't win them all. That's after
Mhm.
winning three straight games. So okay, end of the four-game Western road trip. You're like, okay, we can deal with that.
Mhm.
Really impressed with how they bounced back against Chicago, winning that game 4-0. John Gibson, two shutouts in his last five starts. Been very, very good. He's exactly who they wanted. His level of play is exactly what they wanted when they traded for him.
Mhm.
And then when they came back to Detroit, they were going to take on the New York Islanders. And a few weeks back, I want to say that was in the late November, they got absolutely dog walked
Yeah.
on home ice against the New York Islanders, and they came out with a big win there, 3-2. And that,
Mhm.
to me, that's when I was like, okay, now we're rolling. The next night after that, they lose to Utah 4-1. Well, that's okay. Like, and like we'll take that kind of thing. And
Mhm.
going into this weekend against Washington, I was kind of in the same boat as you because going to Saturday, doing a 12:30 game on a Saturday against Washington, I was like, okay, like how's this gonna go? And to their credit, they absolutely blew
Mhm.
the doors off the Washington Capitals. Great game up and down the line up there, and then they follow it up with the next day at home. Tight turnaround. They got to travel back home to Detroit, and they win that one 3-2 in overtime. And looking at the replays of that game-winning goal by Mo Sider, I was just elated to see how excited the rink was, how
Yeah.
excited the LCA was after that OT winner, and him just raising his hands after and doing kind of the Hulk Hogan, like
Yeah.
give me the like show me the love kind of
Yeah.
thing, just like
Yeah.
cupped into the air, being like, okay, yeah, 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 this is what this place is gonna feel
Mhm.
like. That to me is what has kind of been missing from the NHL recently. No, I mean, from Detroit, playoff style hockey, like big wins at home, overtime, bringing me back to the teams that we watched a
Yeah.
lot growing up, and the teams, you know, prior to 10 years ago when this rebuild
Mhm.
kind of took place. So I'm really impressed with how they've been playing recently. I'm really impressed with the fact that they are first in the Atlantic Division, and I'm impressed with the fact that they're 21-13-3. So
Yeah.
all good things are going on right now. Obviously, we're not even at the midway point of the season, but I'm a big fan of what I see from the Detroit Red Wings right now, and I hope that they continue their winning ways
One of the
uh,
things
as
too
they continue toward the season.
is they're finding ways to win those tight games. You know what I mean? Where they're
Yes.
not unless and they're the other thing too is they're not you remember how a couple years back even they were getting some games they were just getting the blows doors just blown off or they were like losing leads or like stuff like that. That stuff's not happening anymore. So they're finding ways to win those tough games against those good teams and win those games late and not giving up. And they have a bunch of comebacks this year too. So I'm like, I'll be honest with you. I fucking thought that the season was going to be a total shit. Look at me fucking earlier on. I was calling for fucking Iserman's head almost. And they've just found a way to completely turn it around and completely. So I'm just going to insert my foot and I'm just going to let them keep playing hockey and I'm going to enjoy the wins and I'm going to hopefully enjoy some Red Wings playoff hockey later on in the season. So I just hope everything keeps going the way they are and they find ways to keep winning games and stay in this hunt and stay hot and let's ride into the playoffs hot. That would be nice.
I agree. And of course, they are going to get a couple of really good tests in their next four games. On Tuesday, the 23rd, they're going to play Dallas at home, and Dallas is absolutely ridiculous right now, 24-7-5 at the time of this recording. And then they're going to go to Carolina next weekend on the 27th after the holidays and play Carolina on the road there before coming back home to Detroit on the Sunday and play them at home. Sorry, play the Toronto
Yeah.
Maple Leafs in Detroit on
Yeah.
December 28th. So, and then of course on New Year's Eve they're going to play Winnipeg at home at 6:30 as well.
Mhm.
Detroit over the past number of years they've played on New Year's Eve. So, um, you know what? Big tests coming up, but if I was to guess, I would say maybe the Wings will split. Maybe they'll go 2-2 in that stretch, but 3-1 or 4-0 would be highly would be highly acceptable as well. So,
100%.
any individual player that has stood out to you during this time, obviously Mo Sider has been electric
Yeah.
this year over his past 20 games. Tristan was telling me that he is a point per game average,
Hmm.
and like Alex DeBrincat's playing very well right now. As well. Like he's a guy that, I covered when he was in junior in Erie, and he was undersized, but this guy could absolutely rifle the puck,
Yeah.
and that is absolutely not an issue at the NHL level. This guy can absolutely fire the puck, and he's one of the most skilled forwards that I've seen. Like obviously, I don't cover the league with a fine tooth comb, but this guy is just nails whenever you need a goal. He's been pretty solid for the Wings
Yeah,
since he came in
he always
the
finds a way
jersey.
to get it done, it seems.
Gotta love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mo Sider getting the overtime winner against Washington's it's a huge thing for him too, because eventually I do think that I think he is the stir that I think he is the straw that stirs the drink. When he's playing well, the Detroit Red Wings are playing well. So
Yeah. 100%.
yeah, and at the time of this recording, Detroit has played 37 games. They're 21, 13, and 3. They have 45 points, and they are in first place in the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division, ahead of Montreal and Tampa Bay, who they do have 2 games in hand. Detroit has played 37. Those two teams have played 35, but good things moving forward for the Detroit Red Wings. Let's move on to our other team, our other favorite team that plays in a hockey league that starts with N, the NPHL, the Tilbury Bluebirds. This past weekend, my friend, they put on a clinic against the Halton Hills. Oh, as the boys repping the Tilbury Bluebirds sweater.
Yeah.
Nice job, buddy. I
Yeah.
like that as well. They were fantastic early and often against the Halton Hills Coyotes on the weekend, and they take home a 7-4 victory over Halton Hills and a couple of big games from a few big players, buddy. What do you think?
Well, first of all, Jake Durham, holy shit, is this guy ever hot right now? He seems like this guy is scoring at will. I believe he's a former OHLer, Jake. But
Mhm.
he has just been phenomenal for this team. He added another 3 goals and 2 assists the other night there, or actually last night, I should say. Um, who else scored? Cravatin scored twice. Um, I'm trying to look and see right now who is all scoring goals, but there was like we had I think 4 different goal scorers on 7 goals. Matt Anthony made 35 saves in that. He had another fantastic outing there for him. So the Bluebirds goalies doing what they're supposed to be doing. Everything seems to be kind of firing on all cylinders right now. But Halton Hills made a little bit of a comeback towards the end, but it wasn't anything. But Jake Durham is just like I said, is just I can't say it. Like he's just like 5 point night, man. In on 5 of 7 goals. You can't really,
Fantastic. Yeah,
that's amazing. And he's been a big piece of this team. Dylan Denemy too, 4 assists. There was we had multiple guys with multiple points last night. So it's coming from all over the stat sheet, which is nice. And yeah, I like the way things are going. Like I said, we started the season a little slow. However, things are starting to pick up a little bit. Yeah, we've taken a couple lumps along the way, but the boys are fighting through it. They're just putting in effort, and that's what we want, and we want them to make a push for the playoffs. And we're gonna see how this works down the stretch here. We got some big games coming up. I believe the next home game will be on the 28th. It will go next Sunday. They play at 4 o'clock, I want to say. So Jonesy will be on the call for you guys. You guys are going to be on this. Well, you're going to be on the Windsor game. Jonesy's going to be on the Bluebirds game. So yeah, man, that's I love the way they're playing. What about you?
yeah. I was really surprised, not surprised, but when I was checking in on the score of the game. during the night last night to say that they were up 5-1 after the first period. I said, "Oh, the boys are cooking in the first period." It was 16 to 13 in shots on goal. They go 5-1 and sorry, 5-1 after the first period, and it was Jake Durham
Yeah.
and that line. Dylan Denemy and Cole Butler have been on a line as of lately. Looked like they had Jason DeRaiche playing with them as well
Yeah.
in this game because DeRaiche ended up with a goal in this game, a goal and one assist as well. But
Yeah.
Jake Durham and Dylan Denemy have been playing together for a majority of the season, and their chemistry is very apparent.
Yeah.
Durham with 3 goals and 2 assists for a 5.9. Denemy with 4 apples. Like, that's exactly what you want from your captain. Ryan Cravatin, big defenseman, coming in off the point, scores 2 goals there. His D partner, Austin Jennings, with 3 assists in the game as well. And so these guys are just firing on all cylinders, and it's good to see. Coach Dave Jackson has them playing very well. And it's good to see. Nice to see a hometown team
Yeah.
because, like we've done a lot of their games and all the games that we like. I didn't see their first game, but the first game that I did when they played against Orangeville, you could see that there's some pieces there, but they ran into a really good Orangeville team,
Yeah.
and they kind of and they got themselves down early. I think it was 5-1 that they ended up
Yeah.
early in the second period there, but really it was like a 4 or 5 minute stretch where Orangeville scored 4 goals that it made it tight. I think it was 5-2. Yeah, it was 2-2 after the first period in that game against Orangeville, and then they ended up getting down like 5-2 or 6-2, and then they
Yeah.
scored a couple to get it kind of close, but then it was 9-4 final. But
That
it's
Orangeville
good to see. You
team's
can see that
fucking
they play a
good.
fun style of hockey.
Yeah. That
Yeah, there's some really big boys on that team, but like you could just tell that this team was playing is playing the right style, and they just had to kind of gel a little bit to get themselves in the right vein, so to speak. When you look up and down the lineup, there's some solid players there, and a lot of players with some ECHL, some OHL. Like Durham played in the OHL, played at the University of Windsor. Denemy also played at the University of Windsor, played Junior B, had over 100 goals in Junior B playing for LaSalle. So, Jason DeRaiche played a number of years with Leamington Flyers. So there's a lot of talent on the play on the ice there. I
mhm.
mean, like Chase Ruddy, defenseman, played long time, a handful of years in the ECHL, and that's a big thing, And if you get solid goaltending from Matt Anthony and Ryan Polidori, and whoever else they have in net, you know what? You're gonna be competitive in most games. So it's good to see, and it's good to see them getting back in the win column. And I hope to see them. They're at 6-7 at this point of the regular season now. Obviously, they had a little bit of a tough stretch, but I think that they're going to be in a good way. And anybody that lines up against them in the playoffs is going to have a hard time getting a win. So hats off to the boys, the Bluebirds, and hats off to the entire organization for sticking with it.
Mhm.
hmm
Good thing the
Any
kid
other
didn't hear
thoughts
you say
about
six
the?
seven. The kids would have been all over that 6-7 there. That's why I started doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Um, 6-7. Uh, so the final score of the game against Halton Hills ended up being 7-4. Tilbury was up 7-1 after the second period, and then Halton Hills scored 3 goals in the third. Nikolai Salov scored 2 goals in that one, and he's their lead scorer. He had before their game against Tilbury a couple weeks ago, he had 12 points in 7 games. So he's going to get his, and you just kind of try and limit the damage that he got. So if you can make it only one period that they score a couple of goals, then you'll take your lumps there. And Matt Anthony played really well in goal for them as well. He made 35 saves on 39 shots, so he got one of the stars of the game
I think
for
he was
the
first.
Tilbury Bluebirds. Yeah, first star. Oh, excuse me. Um, I'll just update the standings for us real quick before we move on to the OHL quickly. At the time of this recording, Tilbury is still in fourth place in the Metropolitan South Division at 6-7, but they are coming up on the Stratford Irish and the Strathroy Jets. Uh,
Mhm.
It's tight. It's going to be tight. Right now, Tilbury with 12 points, Strathroy with 15, Stratford with 15, Strathroy with 19, and then Alvinston, the Killer Bees with 24 points. That 12-2 record. They're a wagon right now, and they have one of the best records in the entire league. So, and that's all I got to say. What about you?
No, that's pretty well it for me. Just everybody go to the game next Sunday, 4 o'clock puck drop, Tilbury Memorial. Check it out.
Yeah, the 28th, they've got, I believe it's Stratford that they've
Yeah.
got on the 28th. Yes, it's the Stratford Irish on the 20. Sorry, they got the Woodstock Lakers on the 28th.
Yes.
Pardon me, at 4 o'clock, and then the next weekend, Saturday, January 3rd, that is their home game against the Stratford Irish, and they beat Stratford
Mhm.
already this year. I believe that was the 6-7 game, right? The game that they won 7-6. What
I
that you
think so.
called?
I think so, yeah.
Perfect. Then they'll be on the road for four straight, and then they'll end the regular season at home against the Six Nations Ironmen on February 7th. So we'll keep you guys abreast on that situation, and make sure you go visit nphlhockey.ca for all your stats and facts and all that kind of stuff. So, all right, January 28th and sorry, December 28th and January 3rd. Get your tickets for Tilbury Bluebirds hockey.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the Ontario Hockey League. Only one game from our local team, the Windsor Spitfires, this past week because they are on their holiday break. They do defeat the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds 6-2 in that game, and a little bit of an interesting thing happened in this game. One of their players, Anthony Cristoforo, usually plays defense, one of their best defensemen on the team. He gets bumped up to forward because Liam Greentree and AJ Spellacy go off to World Junior Hockey Championship camps with Canada and Team USA, respectively. Liam's playing for Canada, and Spellacy's going to play for USA. And Anthony Cristoforo becomes Anthony Cristoforward, and he gets a hat trick and 4 points on the night. Did you get the chance to watch this game, buddy? And just the fact that our guy Cristoforo jumps up
Mhm.
on forward when the time's needed and ends up with 4 points. It's a pretty incredible night for the young man. I'm sure he won't forget it, right?
No, he's not going to forget that. But in a way, it doesn't surprise me. Like he's a big body. He's a great skater. He has a good shot. So he's got all the aspects and has everything that he needs to play the forward spot. He's just never had to play it. So they figured, coaching staff thought that he would be the best one to, push up front. And what a move it was. It turned out to be a great move, him scoring a hat trick. I thought it was a natural, but it wasn't. There was one in between. I think there was a Sault Ste. Marie goal in between. But yeah, he capped it off with an empty netter at the end that he had to hustle quite a bit for, but he ended up sealing the deal. Super happy for him. Um, could we maybe see him playing some more games up front? I would think so after that performance, but I'm gonna leave a little bit as
You never
to
know.
I have one of his sticks. I have a Twitch that I use that is a Cristoforo Twitch. So maybe some of that can rub off on me next time I play. So we'll see. But yeah, super super happy for him. He played hard. He played great. The whole team played great. And think to be doing this without Greentree and Spelsy and to still be playing like this at a high clip is great news for the Windsor Spitfires. So I'm looking forward to the boys need a rest too. The boys got to, shut her down over the holidays, spend some time with their families, watch their teammates go head to head here at World Juniors and enjoy some downtime together, a little team bonding, I'm assuming they're probably going to do and get right back at it after the holidays. So it's a good way to go into the holidays with a win and then start fresh when we come out on the other side here.
I couldn't agree more. It is worth noting that Sault Ste. Marie was playing without their best player, Brady Martin, because he was also away
Yeah.
at Team Canada training camp as well. So
Mhm.
obviously, a 6-2 score, you think, oh, what a blowout. But, both teams did have their best players out of
Yeah.
the lineup there. But that would be a fun matchup to see later on in the regular season between the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds and the Windsor Spitfires. So games aren't going to start back up in the OHL until December 29th, or sorry, the 28th. That is when the Spitfires are going to take on the Flint Firebirds on the road, and I'll be in the broadcast studio for you guys, doing your pregame, intermissions, and postgame, talking about Windsor and Flint, and that's going to be a really big battle, Anthony, because Flint is absolutely on a big heater right now. Former GM of the Leamington Flyers, Justin Soltze, sorry if I don't pronounce that correctly. He is an assistant coach for the Flint Firebirds, and they are first in the OHL Western Conference with 52 points, or 4 points ahead of Windsor in the standings. And I think they just finished off a 5 game win streak. They're 5-0-1 at the time. And I think earlier in the year, they had an 11 game win streak as well. So that's very impressive. And it's always fun when Flint has a good team. In 2017, when Windsor hosted the Memorial Cup, or no, sorry, when in 2022, when Windsor went to the Western Conference Finals, Flint had a really strong team there, and they played Windsor in the Western Conference Finals, and that was a fun 7 game series that Windsor did end up winning as well. So, looking forward to that. It'll be the first time that we see Flint in the studio that night for our analysis of them. That'll be our first of 3 games that we analyze
Mhm.
in the OHL, and it's our first of 5 straight games, or sorry, first of 4 straight weekends that we will be at the studio doing Windsor Spitfires games. So we'll be on the air December 28th, January 3rd, January 10th, January 16th, January 17th, and January 24th. So no rest for the wicked. So at the time of this recording, they OHL is on a winter break, and Windsor is in third place in the Western Conference because the 2 division winners go first and second. So Flint is in first, Kitchener is in second, and Windsor is in the number 3 slot. Do you want to talk about our Team Canada World Junior teams? 2 pre-tournament games against Sweden, and they won the first one, but they lost the second one. Any thoughts or analysis on those 2 games before we move on to the PJHL wrap up? Wrap up. Wrap up.
Well, I mean, if we can stop putting the puck in our own net, would be cool. That would be if the craziest part too. It's look who did it. Gavin McKenna is the one who put it into his own net, but it's luckily that's only preliminary and it doesn't really, it doesn't really matter. It's just exhibition. But it's better to just, get out the cobwebs now. Am I a little worried going into the tournament? Kinda. I kinda am. I'm not gonna lie. I probably shouldn't be, but I am.
Yeah.
And it's just because I haven't, like, I hate to say this, but I haven't really seen anything over their past 2 games that has really reached out and slapped me in the face. Like I haven't really seen anything that's made me go, "Oh, we're a wagon." Like I haven't thought that yet. So I'm
Yeah.
hoping that once the tournament starts, I believe the tournament will fire up Boxing Day. So I'm hoping that once it starts and the boys kind of lock in, that we get going here in Hall and Ass because was it last year that did they even make a medal round? What was it last year they got knocked out, right?
Well, the last 2 years they've got knocked out in the quarterfinals,
Yeah. So like something's
which
got to
had never
change.
happened prior to that. And
Yeah.
they had not done that 2 years in a row.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like let's go here. Let's lock
Well,
in and
hopefully
let's
Dale
figure it
Hunter
out.
and Mark Hunter from London.
Mhm.
Yeah, hopefully Dale Hunter and Mark Hunter from London. Ice is a good team. They did cut 2 players from the Brantford Bulldogs, Jake O'Brien and Merrick Vanaker. So that was a surprising move considering they were the top goal scorer and top points leader in the OHL at that time. But when you're trying to win a tournament, it doesn't really necessarily behoove you to take the best players that are just doing well in the OHL at that time. You got to try and find the best makeup to win a tournament. And considering that the London Knights just won the Memorial Cup, I think the Hunters know exactly what to do with a team when they go into a tournament. So I think I'm gonna take their I will trust their judgment and analysis on talent when it comes to getting to choose all of Canada's best hockey players and putting them on a 22-man roster. So
Mhm.
I think we'll be just fine. Liam Greentree, the lone representative from Windsor, on that Team Canada as well, though. So best of luck to the boys. Spellacy is going to play for Team USA. Their official roster will not be announced until Christmas Eve. So we are just going to assume that he is on that roster, but Liam Greentree is absolutely going to be on the roster for Team Canada. So we're going to be rooting for him
Mhm.
throughout the championship over the holiday break. Any specific plans for you during World Juniors? Do you do anything special for World Juniors or no?
I'm just gonna eat like an absolute pig, and I'm gonna have a couple beers while I watch it. That's pretty much what's gonna happen.
Perfect. Team Canada opens up on December 26th against Czechia, and then they play on the 27th against Latvia. So hopefully we'll have another recording after those games or so, and hopefully the next time we record, they are in the medal rounds or something. So we're gonna cross our fingers and hope that Team Canada has a better showing than they have in the last 2 years.
Mhm.
Any other thoughts about the OHL or World Junior Hockey?
Nope, that's it.
Beautiful. Let's move on to, okay, beautiful. Let's move on to the Provincial Junior Hockey League because we've had some fun games going on in the West Stobbs division and over the past 7 days. Let's start in the heart of Essex County. Essex Center Complex, where the Dresden Kings and Essex 73s did battle on Tuesday. December 16th. And I'm just pulling up the stats there. This was a I believe this is the last game that Windsor, geez, Essex and Dresden are going to play because they did play a number of games early on in the regular season against one another. And that's kind of a shame because it's been a lot of fun watching these two teams battle it out. And this game on December 16th was very fun to watch because it was 1-1 after the first period. Dresden actually outshot Essex 11 to 10 in the first frame, and it was a goal from Noah Matheson from Essex 46 seconds in that opened up the scoring. And I thought, oh geez, 46 seconds in, maybe this is going to be another route that we've
Mhm.
seen throughout the year. When Essex scores early, sometimes it's just one of those nights for the other team. And but no, credit to the Dresden Kings. They came back, they fought back, and they ended up tying the game at 17:51 of the first period with a goal from Nolan Jack and with assists to Curtis Smith and Quinn Pickering. On the Noah Matheson goal, those were assists came from Luke Shirk and William Big Willie style Claridge. The big defenseman for Essex. So 1-1 after the first period, and I thought, okay, I'm watching the game while I'm at work, and I'm like, okay, first 20 minutes gone. That's fine. Like, let's see how it goes here. And full credit to the Dresden Kings. They came out firing in the second period. They actually took a 2-1 lead at 4:05 of the second period. Nolan Jack scored his second goal of the game, his fourth of the season, with assists to Owen Campbell and Dante McCaig on the power play. And that is when after Jack Lewis took a high sticking penalty
Yeah.
at 2:10. Essex had almost killed off that penalty, but at 4:05, just 5 seconds remaining in the power play, Nolan Jack gets his second of the game to give the Dresden Kings a 2-1 lead. And then cue Noah Matheson, who had himself a fantastic game. He scores his second goal of the contest at 9:21 with an assist to Ethan O'Neill. That was Noah's 11th goal of the year. And I thought it was pretty interesting because during the broadcast, I was listening to Brendan Jones and Tristan McGuire, who we are missing on this podcast recording today. But they talked about how Noah had actually gotten called up to play for the Junior B Chatham Maroons, who, of course, he was part of their Sutherland Cup team last year before coming to Essex in the offseason. He got called up to go play for them on the Sunday, and he scored a goal in their
Yeah.
game on Sunday in Essex. So I just thought, this kid, when the kid's hot, the kid's hot. And he scored his second goal of the game at 9:21. And then late in the second period, Marcus Levesque scored his 13th goal of the year with an assist to Noah Matheson and Luke Shirk to give the Essex 73s a 3-2 lead after 2 periods. You were in the house for this game, and after 2 periods of play, this was a pretty tight game, right, bud?
Yeah, it was pretty, and it was like a lot of like hard hitting. It was very fast paced. They were going end to end. Like it was actually a really
Mhm.
entertaining game to watch. But then, yeah, the third period rolled around. Wyatt Gowdy, we're on the board, buddy. We got you. We're in. And then
Yeah.
so he ended up popping one, and then right again, boom, Dresden comes right back, bam, scores again, and then it's 4-3, and it's like we're going 4-3 late in the game. Um, and then it ended up Dresden pulled their goaltender, and then we got a empty netter from Travis Rive. So Rive hit the empty netter and assisted by who? None other than Noah Matheson. So he had a hell of a night. He's really been a real bright light for the like 73s, not only as of late but all season. So Noah's done a fantastic job for the 73s on being a leader on the ice and racking points up and setting the boys up and scoring goals himself. So now we're starting to get it from everybody, right? We got Gaudy going, we got the
Mhm.
goaltenders are going, we got everybody firing on all cylinders here. So we'll keep going because I know we have an important game against Lakeshore we have to talk about as well. So I'll let you keep going with the wrap up.
Yeah, worth noting as well that when Travis Travis, don't you dare call me Rivest,
Yeah.
Rive scored that empty netter. Essex was actually killing a penalty. Carter
Yeah.
Dembinski got a cross-checking penalty at the 17-minute mark, and so it was 6-on-4 for
Yeah.
that period. And then Essex is able to get the empty netter as the penalty was expiring. So
Mhm.
a full credit to the threes for being able to, kill off that penalty and, execute into the empty net with being down a man in that situation. So I just thought that the special teams needed a shout out there for being able to pull that off. And that's the kind of stuff that it's a lot of practice.
Mhm.
And in when you look at some guys that like Rive, like 4 goals on the year, but he's earning one. Shorthanded and empty net, that's a huge
Yeah.
contribution that you're getting late, and it lets you, relax, right?
Mhm.
Because the final score does end up being 5-3. It's a big 2 points for the Essex 73s. That was their 16th win in a row at that time,
Yeah.
and it's the last time that they're going to play Dresden
Yeah.
this year. There was 481 people in attendance at the Exit Center complex. In net, Burt Castles makes 18 saves on 21 shots in the win. And in for Dresden, Griffin Taylor made 37 saves on 41 shots in the loss there. So big win for the SC73s as they continue their hot play as of late. And then the next day, Amherstburg and Wheatley would do battle at the Wheatley area arena, and we would get a shutout from a young man named Landon Dimitrov or
Mhm.
Dimitrov,
Yeah.
depending on
Dimitrov. Yeah.
how he would like his last name
Yeah.
said. And he is a 16-year-old goaltender. So the fact that we got a 16-year-old goaltender making a shutout here is very impressive. And this game was 0-0 after 40 minutes of play. And then Amherstburg was able to get a goal at 2:20 into the third period from a guy that we know named Jackson Blair, who is a former Essex 73's AP. He picks up his second goal of the year. And then with just like 5 seconds left, Drew Booker scores into an empty net to make it a 2-0 game. Finnegan Russet and Luka Milicevic with the assists on that one. So a boatload of penalties in this game as I'm looking at here. Did we get any fight? No, just a lot of roughings and 10-minute misconducts here. So
Yeah.
basically, a fight, a fight in anything but name here happened a
Mhm.
couple times throughout the game. We got Brett Jones and Mateo Pereira mixing it up. We got Luka Milicevic and Seth Zylstra mixing it up
Mhm.
in this game. And this is just two teams that are fighting for points
Yeah.
in the Stobbs division. And, middle of the week, the shots in this game were 39-35. Well, Wheatley had 39 shots on goal. Amherstburg with 35 there. And at the end of the day, it just comes down to execution.
Mhm.
Jackson Blair gets an unassisted goal, 2:20 into the third period,
Yeah.
and then Drew Booker with the empty net. I guarantee, yeah, like they were down a man, 6-on-5, and Booker was able to get a couple outlet passes from Russet and Milicevic, and it goes in the back of the net. Pretty sure I
Mhm.
watched this one while I was at
Yeah.
work, so
Landon
I, I
there
I remember
too.
catching the empty net.
I think he might be
Yep.
now the youngest in league history to record a shutout at just 16 years old. Question for you. Let's see how
Yes.
much you were reading the post. Do you know who? prior to Landon's shutout, who was the youngest goalie to have a shutout in league history.
In league history, I don't know, but I know that the last guy to get a shutout at 16, because I did see
Yeah.
the
I know
post
you're gonna
being
get it.
put on by Amherstburg.
Yeah.
It was Blenheim's Jake Van Coyle.
No, I believe it was
He's a
Dresden's
fantastic
Brett
player.
Brochu.
Oh, really? Because
Hmm.
the post that Amherstburg posted said that Brochu didn't get a
Oh, he
shutout in
did
his
or didn't?
16-year-old year. Maybe that was incorrect.
Maybe I read it
I think they
wrong.
said he did not get
Oh, okay.
a yeah. So
All right.
because then I saw someone posted and tagged Jake Van Coyle, and then someone posted that he got one too. But I didn't see a timestamp or what game it was. But
Hmm.
I'm gonna trust the
Okay.
internet on this one.
Either way though,
So
Landon, congrats, man.
stud.
Congrats. Hell of an accomplishment, man.
Mhm.
Definitely.
And Wheatley's a tough arena to play in, as we will attest to later on with some games that we watched
Yeah.
on Saturday as well. In goal, Dimitrov makes 39 saves for the shutout, his first as a member of the Amherstburg Admirals, and Ethan Davis made 33 saves on 34 shots in the loss for Wheatley. That's a tough game to lose for Wheatley, and as we know, points are at a premium in that division because at the time that moved up Amherstburg into fifth place, or maybe the next game that they played moved them into fifth place. So to go from seventh to fifth in one game, it just speaks about how close these standings are in the West Stobbs division. No games in the division on the Thursday, but on Friday night, it was hockey night in Lakeshore at the Atlas Tube Center, and there was over or under 700 people at the game between Lakeshore and Essex on Friday night.
Oh, there had to have been over. There probably was probably pushing eight, I would
Yeah.
say. It
The
looked like it was a packed house. As always, when these teams meet,
mhm.
they always draw bigger crowds. Um, Unfortunately, all good things must come to an end. Lakeshore did beat us 4-2. They did hit a empty netter. I already know you're gonna give the rundown
Mhm.
here, so I'll let you do the rundown on the goals, and then we'll chat about the game.
Yeah, so the official number, you were very close, Anthony. The final number in attendance that was listed on the site was 795 people, which is the highest attendance in the Stobbs Division games this year. I checked. The last time that Essex and Lakeshore played, like last Tuesday, was 765 that was listed. So highest game of the year so far in the division is at Lakeshore, 795 people. So that would be the number that I keep an eye on as we move forward toward the end of the year. This was a lot of fun. I watched this game. Uh, I enjoy watching these streams. I do enjoy watching the streams, but not having commentary does like the storytelling aspect of it. I do like obviously I watch enough hockey. I know what's going on,
Yeah.
but like not having a broadcaster when I watch these games from other squads, I'm not complaining about it. It just makes me appreciate the S673 stream a lot more because I do get a commentary of it, especially because when I work afternoons. I'm busy doing other things and I'm able to kind of listen in. Like, can't always be looking at the screen, but I can be listening, right? And so
Mhm.
being able to have our broadcasters being able to talk to us and be in our ear and tell us what's going on is a huge boost. So I just wanted to give you guys your flowers for being able to pull off those broadcasts for each and every Essex 73's home game because it is an undertaking. It doesn't just happen by accident. I
No.
know that there's a lot more that goes into it than plugging in stuff and turning on a computer. So my appreciation to you guys for doing that. Um, this game was a lot of fun to watch, regardless, anyway.
Mhm.
Andrew Ward scored first to open the scoring at 13:55 of the first period, his fourth of the year. Von Troop, whose name may be mentioned later on in this broadcast in this podcast a little later for something different, and Denver Boimier assist on that one. And then I thought it was going to be one of those things where maybe wasn't going to be Essex's night, but Jackson Forche Smith, anytime that they're down or
Yeah.
anytime that they need a big goal, it seems like it's either Jackson Forche Smith or Connor Hunt that comes up big for them. And Jackson Fortier Smith comes up with his 11th goal of the year at 18:48 of the first period. Carter Dembinski and Travis, don't you dare call me Rivest Rive assist on that one. I think I'm just gonna start calling Carter Dembinski the apple tree because this guy
Yeah.
just is just handing out assists all over the
Oh
place,
yeah.
and he would get another one later on in the game. I think you said that you were gonna. Did you end up going to this game or no?
I didn't end up going. I was a little under the weather, but I was watching it at home.
Yes. Okay. I couldn't remember if you said you were going to take your boy or not, but fun game regardless. First period ends 1-1. Only 6 shots on both sides that were credited to each team in this game. So, defense was at a premium, blocking shots. I think I counted like 30 something block shots in this game, just kind of like as I was watching. So, great defensive play by two solid programs. And when I'm looking at the total shots in this game, ended up being 26-26. Like anytime that you're getting teams with under 30 shots in a game, the other team was playing very well defensively, and that goes towards the systems and kind of the structure that they play with. So in the second period, though, a name that we mentioned in the broadcast, the name that we mentioned earlier in the Essex 73's game on Tuesday, the 16th, scored again. Wyatt Gowdy scored his second goal in as many games, getting his second of the year with Carter Dembinski and Marcus Levesque with the assists. So good to see that Wyatt's hot at the right time of the year because it had been, he had been one of the only players on the team that hadn't scored
Hmm.
on the year, and he had so many chances. I can't count how many times this kid hit the post in
Yeah.
the last few weeks. So it's good to see him hitting the back of the net. And Essex takes a 2-1 lead after the second period. But then in the third, it was all Lakeshore. Michael Kopchuk scores his 12th goal of the year at the 4-minute mark with assists to Owen Bentley and Aiden Sullivan. And then the laser,
Yeah.
Lazar Dragicevic scores unassisted his sixth goal of the year at 11:06 to make it 3-2. And then Connor Costello would score at into an empty net at 19:30 to round out the scoring with the assist to Kyle Kelly. Final score 4-2 for the Lakeshore Canadians.
Mhm.
And worth noting as well, only two minor penalties were called in this entire game. And so clean game, really fun game to watch. This one goes to the Lakeshore Canadians, their first time playing Essex in their barn this year, and it's in a win 4-2 for the Canadians. Your thoughts on this game and the first loss that the 73s have had in 17 games? That's a
Well,
big number.
I mean, yeah, it's great that they won that many games, but like I said earlier, all good things must come to an end at some point, and Lakeshore played a good all around game. You have to
Mhm.
hand it to them. They completely took over in the third period there, and they just played a nice, well-rounded game. It's Lakeshore hockey. That's what they do. You can never count them out. No matter what, you can never count Lakeshore out. Um,
Mhm.
Laser scoring the what's proved to be the winning goal kind of hurts a little bit because he was a former 73, but he just went streaking down the wing, made a nice shot, and boom, it just like that. But yeah, this one, so last time these two teams played, there was a lot of penalty minutes in it. So to see it kind of flip and to have basically nothing was I'll say it was a nice change. It was a nice clean game. So yeah, there's not really too much to say about it. Lakeshore played well. It was their win. They probably should have won that game. They looked great, and yeah, just pretty much back to the drawing board. And now so we have to play Lakeshore two more times, and those two games are going to be in Lakeshore. So Essex is going to have to figure it out on winning on the road in Lakeshore. They went 3-0 against them at home here because we don't. It was weird the way the schedule worked out because we played them three times at home, and then we play there three times. So it's yeah, that's just we just got to figure out a way to win in Lakeshore. That's what you got to do in the end.
Yeah, and the schedule is what it is. I just believe that last year, their last two meetings, I believe one was like I think they swapped. It was like the last 2 weeks of the year or last 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah.
One game was at Essex, and then like the last game of the regular season was at Lakeshore, I believe, or something like that. And that's fun. But
Mhm.
Can't do nothing but the schedule. The schedule is what it is.
Yeah.
I think it adds adds a little interesting element to it. Uh, but that's about it.
Mm.
It's interesting, but it's nothing much to talk about.
Nah.
The goaltenders, Burt Castles made 22 saves on 25 shots. He allowed 3 goals on the 25 shots. The last goal went into an empty net, even though it's not credited as empty netter on the site there, but that was 1000% an empty net.
Yes, it was.
Bo Porosky made 24 saves on 26 shots. He played very well. And there's a couple of opportunities where I thought, okay, here's one. Oh, no, big save for Porosky. So he played very well and backstopped the Canadians to the 4-2 victory, their first win over Essex this year. Essex is up 3-1 in the regular season series, but with 2 more games to go in Lakeshore this year. Let's move on. Pardon me. And, big number, 795 people came to watch that game at the Atlas Tube Center too. So thank you to the community for coming out and supporting Junior C hockey and supporting 2 of these teams. And obviously they got their money's worth because this was a very fun game to watch. 26-26, the final goal, the final total in shots on goal for both teams.
Mhm.
The next night, on the Saturday afternoon, sorry, that was a Friday night,
Yeah.
Walpole Island went to Dresden to take on the Kings in Dresden at the Ken Houston Agriculture Center there. This game was actually 2-2 after the first period, and it was Dresden opening up the scoring 1 minute and 10 seconds into the game with a goal from Nathan Reedhead, assist to Derek Nevels and McLean Norris. That's Reedhead's 4th goal of the year. And then Walpole Island scored 2 goals back to back. Axel Howlett, our boy, with the sick name, 2 goals. His 2nd goal of the year. He scored at 3:36 with assist to Nash Grealis and Eric Belair. And then at 8:24, Alex Simpson for Walpole made it 2-1 for the Wild, his 3rd of the year with assist to Aiden Gravel and Aaron Highfield. That was on the power play. And then Dresden scored. Nathan Reedhead scored his 2nd of the period and 5th of the year to tie it at 2-2. Ryan Bork and Dustin Sweeney on the assist there. Sorry for my coughing fit there. In the second period, one of the leading scorers in the entire PJHL, Cameron Graham, scored his 23rd goal of the year at 5:31 of the second period with assist to Mackenzie Anderson and Colton Graham. And then just 26 seconds later, they would be tied once again. Walpole's Rance Sony scores his 2nd goal of the year with an assist to Garrett Vandenduel and Eric Bowen there. And then cue the Dresden Kings comeback. The Kings get 2 goals before the end of the second period. Ryan Bork scores his 5th goal of the year unassisted at 8:19, and then Derek Nevels scores his 9th goal of the year at 11:22 with assist to McLean Norris and Remy Steen to take a 5-3 lead after 2 periods of play. In the third, it was all Dresden once again. McLean Norris scored his 13th of the year with assist to Cameron Graham and Dustin Sweeney on the power play at 9:03. And then it was Nathan Reedhead getting the hat trick for Dresden. He scored at 14:21 to get his 6th goal of the year unassisted. So only getting 6 goals of the year, getting 3 of them in this game. Hey, buddy, we're hat trick hockey. We like to shout out hat tricks. So
Damn right.
congratulations, Nathan Reedhead there. In goal, Nicholas Juranian, man. We're going to call him the Michelin Man because all this guy does is stop rubber. 61 saves on 68 shots on goal. And then the newest member of the Dresden Kings, Blake Verbeen, he actually was released by the Chatham Maroons and then was signed by Dresden earlier in the week. I think it was like the day before this. He made 13 saves on 16 shots in his first win for the Dresden Kings. So worth noting there, Dresden gets a new goalie and he picks up a win in his first game with the team. Both teams were 1-for-3 on the power play there, and Dresden picks up a big 2 points with the 7-3 victory. And the next game in the division, where I'm going to move over to no more games on the Friday. Let's move over to Saturday night. Saturday night, hockey night in Wheatley. The Essex 73s went on the road and ran into a really tough Wheatley Olmsted Sharks squad who took a 2-0 lead over Essex in the first period. This game got underway very quickly with Xander Zanier scoring at 1 minute mark of the first period there. Vito Alfano and Jaden Ferguson combined on the assist for the power play because Matt Cole took a tripping penalty at the 52nd mark, and then they scored just 9 seconds later. So a big start for the Wheatley Sharks there, and then Vito Alfano scored at 13:37 with assists to Seth Zilstra and Josh Chauvin to take a 2-0 lead for the Wheatley Sharks. What were your thoughts when you saw that the Sharks were up 2-0 over the Essex 73s after 20 minutes of play?
I was like, oh boy. So right off the hop, I was like, especially when they scored a minute in. So
Yeah.
I was like, oh, here we go. Because, we had just lost the Lakeshore. I thought maybe the boys were still a little rusty. But
Hmm.
luckily, before the end of the second period, Connor Hunt scored at the 18-minute mark to kind of just put the
Yes.
boys in the game a little bit to give us a little bit of hope. Because if you're going down two periods, down 2-0, that's a tough hole to climb out of. It doesn't matter who you're playing. So luckily he got that one. And then in the third
Hmm.
period, it was all 73s, just offensive explosion. I'll let you go through the four goals and then we'll do the wrap up on the game.
Yeah, and it was a nice goal by Connor Hunt too,
Yeah.
because at the time, it was 18 minutes into the second period. You're thinking, okay, a couple more shifts, and we're going into the room, going into the third, down two. And Carter Dembinski draws a bunch of defenders over during a rush, and they left Connor Hunt wide open. He finds him with a perfect pass. Connor Hunt goes in, right hand shot, just zips one past the goaltender there to make it 2-1. And at that point, it was almost like, oh, you could see the bench kind of exhale a little bit. Okay, we got one. We got one. Let's go into the
Yeah.
room. Let's figure it out. And Essex ended up getting a little bit of a break. Not a break, but they got a penalty call.
Yeah.
They drew a penalty with 20 seconds left in the second period. Brandon Ferguson gets a high sticking penalty. So they go in the room. They talk about what they're going to do, and then with just 36 seconds into the third period, the power play connects. Connor Hunt scores his second goal of the game. This one with a assist to Luke Shirk and Noah Matheson. No surprise that Matheson and Shirk set up Connor Hunt there. That line has been very good for them all year
Mhm.
long. And that, after that point when it was 2-2, then the Essex 73s took over, right?
Mhm. Oh yeah, it was like it
At that point,
was just boom, 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 boom. It was like yeah, and the part that I like too is it was a lot of the big dogs that were coming through for the 73s.
yeah.
Hunt with a goal, Baker with a goal, Matheson again. Like, the guy's just like a point machine. So it was all 73s in the third period. It got a little chippy near the end of the game. There were some penalties called. There was a 5-minute head contact major. Um, I believe that was Zanier, and then Jack Lewis and Jesse Mercier got into it a little bit at the end of the game. What I like too with
Yes.
this Mercier kid is he shows his teeth when he plays. You know what I mean? And I like that. I don't mind that. I think it's great for hockey. Um, Yeah, and like he's a former 73. I've always had a little bit of a soft spot for him. I like the way he plays the game. He's a good kid. He comes from a good family too, so
Mhm.
I really like him. And I yeah, he just got a little heated at the end of the game, and I don't mind seeing it. But Jack Lewis is a large lad to be kind of mixing it up with, but
Yeah.
cooler heads prevailed, and we didn't get a fight because if they would have fought, then they would have both got kicked out for games, right? So I'm kind of glad that didn't happen, but it's nice to see the boys mixing it up a little bit. Get
Yeah.
get get those emotions out.
Yeah. Worth noting as well because in the second period, at the 14:23 mark, Jesse Mercier and Noah Matheson got into it as well, and I watched that. I was working alongside a young man named Eric Lavins at the
Mhm.
at the factory, and I was checking in on this, and I was like, "Hey, scrap!" And I thought, okay, what's going on? Because there was a little bit of a scrum on the far boards right
Yeah.
by the 73's bench, and I was like trying to figure out who was there, and there was a couple of bodies that were in there, and
Mhm.
Matheson and Mercier were the only ones that were given offsetting minors in that
Mhm.
time. It was yeah. When I look back at it, it was just minors. Like it was not a full on fight, but it was
Yeah.
like
It was just
in a
yeah.
game where you're looking for a bit of a spark. from your team there, it kind of that may maybe kind of energized the boys a little bit, and that
Hmm.
was just before a couple minutes before the Connor Hunt first goal there. So
Hmm.
Connor Hunt scores to tie the game at 36 seconds. Then 2 minutes after that, Andrew Baker scores at 2:33, his 10th goal of the year with assist to Travis. Don't you dare call me Revest Rive. And Marcus Levesque. I think Levesque is French for clutch because this guy always comes up in the clutch for the Essex 73s, especially in the playoffs there. So
Oh yeah.
then at 9:08, Carter the Apple Tree Dembinski scores his eighth goal of the year, and he's got 24 assists on the year, 8 goals. This guy just loves dishing it out.
Yeah.
He also scored on the power play with assists to Andrew Baker and Austin Wright, Harrow boy Austin Wright.
Yeah.
Uh, and then Noah Matheson closes it out at 15:24, his 12th goal of the year, his 47th point of the season, with assist to William Big Willie Style Claridge and Matthew Cole on the assist there. So final score 5-2 for the Essex 73s. And the Essex 73s come up with 4 goals in the third period to take that one there. A great effort from Wheatley, but a great comeback from the Essex 73s there. Burt Castles made 35 saves on 37 shots, and Ethan Davis made 22 saves on 27 shots in the loss for Wheatley. Connor Hunt, the game's first star, 2 goals, and well deserved there. He came up clutch for the Essex 73s, and when you saw that they signed him in the offseason, these are the kind of moments that you're looking for. Hey, we
Yeah.
need you here tonight, kind of thing. Like let's
Hmm.
go, and he absolutely showed up in a big way. So Essex gets back on the winning track
Yeah.
and gets a big 2 points for them because back to back losses, wouldn't be great for this team as they're getting towards the Christmas break. Obviously, they have one more game. Before the Christmas break, but after going into a break like that, you don't want to go on a 2 game schneid. So,
Yeah.
any other thoughts about Essex and Wheatley before I move on?
Nope.
Beautiful. All right. Another game going on Saturday. It was the Moortown Flags taking on the Walpole Island Wild. The Moortown Flags were all over the Wild from the very start. Carson Crawford was on the board early, 113 into the game. He scores his 18th of the year with assist to Braden Hogan and Nolan Bordage. 5:52, Dylan Dupuy scored his 10th of the year with assist to Landon Marcy and Jeremiah Nappy. And then at the 19:08 mark, Parker Curry scores his first goal of the year. Congratulations, Parker, with
Yeah.
assist to Thomas Browning McFegan at and Ethan Glavin at 19:08. So 3 goals, 3-0 after the first period there, and Moortown would end up going on to win 9-0. And Johnny Chartrand gets the shutout in this one. Made 30 saves though in the process. I'll zip through these goals here. Second period, Casey Shoughton scores with assist to Owen McDonald and Ty Terrian on the power play. 18:41, Noah Waybrant scores his fourth of the year. Mitchell Stack and Mason Flett on the assists. Third period, Carson Crawford scores his 19th of the year. Mason Flett and Nolan Bordage on the power play at 3:47. And then Carson Crawford gets the hockey hat trick
Yeah,
at
baby.
9:14 of the third period. 20th of the goal, 20th of the year. Owen McDonald, Ethan Glavin. That was actually shorthanded as well with Walpole on the power play. 16:53, Mitchell Stack scores his sixth of the year with assist to Noah Waybrandt and Mason Flett on the power play. And then closing it out, Braden Hogan scored his second of the year at 19:35 with Nolan Bordage and Jeremiah Nappy picking up the assists there. So Bordage ended up with 3 assists in the game. Carson Crawford ended up with 3 assists 3 goals in the
Hmm.
game. Just up and down, a dominant effort from the Moortown Flags. There
Yeah.
were a number of fighting majors
Yeah,
in
there
this
was.
game as well. Yeah, we had Caleb Hamill and Ty Terrian or Terrion. If I'm getting that wrong, I apologize. They fought early in the third period. There was a
There was,
unsportsmanlike conduct early on there, but
yeah,
we don't know what that was
there
about.
was a bunch of
Oh, there was
ejections
a
in this
checking from
game.
behind penalty.
Yep.
Yeah. Anderson Koziel and Tristan McKitchen had a fight in the third period, and that was it. There was also a slashing major from a young man from Walpole named
Yeah.
Carson Lippert. So lot of homework to do
Hmm.
for the officials
Yeah.
after
Oh yeah.
this game there. But I think it's worth noting John Chartrand gets the shutout, and at that time, that made him the number one leader in the franchise for playoff and regular season wins. A couple weeks ago, he got his 67th win, I want to say,
Hmm.
in the regular season, and that was a franchise record. But now with this win, he now has he has the like total games win mark. So congratulations, Johnny.
Yeah.
Great player to watch, fantastic goaltender, great ambassador of the league, and he's a big part of that Moortown Flags team. But man, Carson Crawford getting the hat trick, hockey hat trick. Congratulations, my man. Big
Did
game from you.
you did you notice something about his hat trick?
No, what happened?
He got one even strength, one on the power play, and one shorthanded.
So is that the Mario Lemieux?
I believe it is.
I think that's what they call it, right? The Mario Lemieux. I
I
hadn't
think
heard
so.
that
I
term
hadn't heard that
uh,
either.
for a few weeks ago.
But yeah, so he got one, and one there like that. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and a big win there too for Moortown. They need to pick up points if they want to stay in lockstep with the Division Two. Moortown picked up a big win over Blenheim last weekend as well. So good to see them continue their winning ways. That team's a lot of fun to watch, and that'll be a tough matchup for anybody in the playoffs. Also going on Saturday, the Blenheim Blades traveled to Amherstburg to take on the Admirals. This game was really tight, 0-0 after the first period, and then it was Blaine Bassick scored at 2:01 of the second period to put Blenheim up 1-0. David Brown and Stephen Jacobs combined on the assists. That was a power play goal after Rory Sandison took a tripping penalty 41 seconds into the period there. Then Rory would make up for it though, because at
Mhm.
7:53 he scored his seventh goal of the year from Brett Jones and Drew Booker to tie the game 1-1, and that would stay the score until late in the third period before Andrew Goulet would score at 18:02, less than 2 minutes in, the last minutes 2 minutes left in the period, with Nelson DeConning and Everett Swayze with the assists on that one. And I saw some posts online thinking that saying that Dimitrov thought he had it covered, uh, but you play into the whistle. You go if you see the pucks loose, you keep going for it. And Blenheim gets rewarded with the late goal there to take the 2-1 victory over the Amherstburg Admirals. Jake Van Coyley made 19 saves on 20 shots in the win. Landon Dimitrov, right after he had that shutout win over Wheatley earlier in the week, he picked up 40 saves on 42 shots in the loss for Amherstburg. Another tight loss for Amherstburg against one of the top teams in the division there.
Hmm.
Any thoughts on that?
No, just the like you said, a nice tight checking game, and goaltenders showed up, and it was a goalie battle by the way it sounds. And by the way, that was Landon's second straight game where he was the first star of the game too, by the way.
Absolutely. Great to see a 16-year-old goaltender shining for his team there. And that's a good pickup for the Amherstburg Admirals
Yep.
there. Two more games, and then we are done the PJHL wrap up, my friend. So let's stay on the day of this recording, the 21st. The Dresden Kings visited Lakeshore Arena to take on the Canadians in a Sunday matinee game. This was a 4 o'clock start. The Canadians took a 2-1 lead after the first period. Dresden actually opened the scoring at 109 of the first period with Derek Nevels with assists to McLean Norris and Owen Campbell. Michael Kopchuk scored for the Canadians to make it 1-1 at 15:25. Von Troop and Aiden Sullivan scored there, assisted there. Then 20 seconds later, it was 2-1 because Aiden Sullivan scored with assist to Von Troop and Dallas Kelly. I'm going to rip through these real quick because
Yep.
I think my daughter's crying and I got to go upstairs. 2 minutes into the second period, Brandon LeBlanc scores with assist to Nick Graniero, make it 3-1. 6:03 of the second period, Neil Garvey scores with assist to Connor Costello and Evan Fennick. And then Derek Neville scores his second goal of the game for Dresden at 11:13 to make it 4-2 with assist to Mackenzie Anderson. And then it was the rest of the game was all Lakeshore. Jordan Main scores on the power play. Owen Bentley gets his 11th of the year shortly after that. Then in the third period, Denver Boimier, Von Troop, and Jordan Main score to make it a 9-2 victory for the Lakeshore Canadians. Goaltenders Blake Verbeen, his second game with Dresden, made it 27 saves on 36 shots, and Hunter Welk made 21 saves on 23 shots in the win for Lakeshore. We're actually at the time of this recording, Blenheim and oh sorry, yeah, Blenheim and Amherstburg just finished up their game there, and that one went into overtime, and the Blenheim Blades come out with a 2-1 victory there. So back-to-back close games between Amherstburg and Blenheim. This game was tight. Luka Milicevic scored at 9:24 of the first period with assists to Drew Booker and Stefan Djordjevic on the power play. In the second period, Everett Swayze levels the game with his fifth goal of the year with assist to Russell Vaughn, the goaltender, and Brad McAlpine on the power play as well. This game was scoreless in the third period and then went into overtime. And then at 2:28, Blaine Bassick scoring in second straight game against Amherstburg with the assist to Stephen Jacobs with the overtime winner there, and a big win for the Blenheim Blades in back-to-back games over the Amherstburg Admirals. Bennett Horrocks in the overtime loss made 24 saves on 26 shots. Russell Vaughn in goal picks up the assists and has 29 saves on 30 shots. And that is your PJHL standings. That is your PJHL wrap up. I'll quickly rip through the standings, and then we are going to close the show. Walpole in 8th place, 5 points, 226 and 1. Wheatley, 11, 18 and 1, 23 points. Amherstburg, 6th place, 29 games, 11, 15, 3, with 25 points. Dresden picks up Dresden with 26 points on 30 games played, 11, 15, and 4. 5 points ahead of them is the Moortown Flags. They are 15, 13, and 1 with 29 games played, and Moortown has 3 overtime wins. In third place, Lakeshore, 29 games, 21 wins, 6 losses, and 2 overtime losses for 44 points. Blenheim Blades, second place, 30 games played, 22 wins, 6 losses, and 2 overtime losses for 46 points. And in first place, still in first place, the Essex 73s, 30 games played, 25 wins, 4 losses, and 1 overtime loss with 51 points. Any other thoughts before we wrap up the show, my friend? It's been a fun week in the PGHL. A lot of fun games.
Nothing really on the league, but if I can touch on the Cullen thing real quick before we close the show, would be good. So as we explained
Yes, please.
there, a week or two ago, though, Cullen flood, so the Flood family in LaSalle, so we got to play them this past weekend, and we went in there and we wore our t-shirts, and as you guys seen on our socials, we posted up a photo of both teams, everybody just arm in arm, and it was a great thing to see. What a display of sportsmanship from our kids to go in there and wear the shirts and hang out with them, and we were talking with them and stuff like that. Cullen is in London receiving treatment, so he'll be there for the holidays with his family. We got a little bit of an update on him last night there, so we just want to let them know that we're still thinking about you guys. We're still pulling for you guys. We love you guys. And if there's anything that we can do as a show to help you guys out in literally any way, feel free to reach out. And like I said, we're always thinking about you guys right now, and we want to see you home, and we want to see Cullen right back on the ice with his team. So we're thinking about the LaSalle U9s and Cullen's family, and everybody keep donating. It's going really well. I believe it's over $60,000 now what they have done for him. So everybody, let's keep
Wow.
this moving and let's help these guys out during this time of need. So thank you to everybody who's shared and we threw in some cash as a show. We threw in a little donation as well, and
Thank you.
yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to say thank you to everybody, and I'm so proud of my U9, or I should say our U9 Ravens for going in there and doing what they did and showing love at the same time as trying to play them at the same time. So just just taps all around for everybody and for both teams. And Colin, once again we're thinking about you, we're pulling for you, and we want to see you home soon. So
Absolutely. I couldn't think of a better way to close the show. We're all thinking about the Flood family. We're thinking about you, Cullen. And for everyone that has donated, thank you for doing so. And if you are interested in donating, please do so as well. Hockey is just a game. At the end of the day, we're all passengers in this game that we call life. And we're happy that we got some good people that are along the ride for us to help us in times of need. So perfect way to end the show. No social media plugs. support the Flood family and Cullen at this time if you are able to do so. We are thinking about you. Cullen, stick tops to you, buddy. All right. From all of us at the Hattrick Hockey Podcast, thanks for tuning in, and we will see you next time for HTH. Good night.
I've lost my fight with time. My numbers up and up the line. I gaze at the darkness, so empty, just looking for the light. Shout for help, but no one's there. Need a guiding hand, someone who cares. All alone in the darkness, I've realized for the first time I am scared. If I could do it all again, if I had one more chance, my friend, I would rewrite all my wrongs. I would find where I belong. I got lost along the way. I had so much more to say. If I could do